So yesterday we have discussed about how to configure always on availability group and how to add databases to availability group. So we have seen what is primary replica, secondary replica, synchronous commit, asynchronous commit, automatic failover, manual failover, readable secondaries, what is readable secondary replicas, backup preferences, all these details we have seen. So now let's start from the beginning. We will create one more availability group. We will come step by step. You will understand how to create always an availability group. Okay. So what are the prerequisites? Prerequisites are edition should be either enterprise edition or standard edition. Okay. Standard edition, we have some limitations. On enterprise edition, we don't have any limitations to create always an availability groups. So in developer edition also, you can create always an availability group. Developer edition is nothing but it is 100% equal to enterprise edition. The only difference is you should not use it for business purpose. Okay. So next step is you need to create Windows Server failover cluster. So what is the first step in Windows creating Windows Server failover cluster? You need to add failover cluster feature. Failover clustering feature. This is failover clustering feature. Okay. So when you click on add roles and features, so click on next, you will see this feature. Click on this, then click on OK. Then Windows Server failover cluster feature will be completed. It will be installed in all nodes. After installing this feature, what you will do? So you will open Cluster Manager, then click on Validate Configuration. So after adding all nodes to the cluster, it will test all the nodes whether those are compatible or not. ఆ నోట్స్ అన్ని క్లస్టర్ తయారు చేయడానికి కంపాటబుల్ కాదా అనేది టెస్ట్ అవుతుంది. ఆఫ్టర్ టెస్టింగ్ దట్ యూ కెన్ క్లిక్ ఆన్ క్రియేట్ క్లస్టర్, యాడ్ అవైలబుల్ నోట్స్, గివ్ నేమ్ ఆఫ్ ద క్లస్టర్, all available nodes, then cluster will create. This is the cluster. We have created name, one cluster name, Azure cluster. In this cluster, we have two nodes available. One is always on node 1, second is always on node 2. Okay. So after creating cluster, one important aspect is you need to create a witness. So this is the witness. Cluster disk I have already added. Okay. There are 3 types of witness you can configure. So witness type 1, cluster, disk quorum. We call it disk quorum. Witness type 2, file share witness. 3, cloud witness. So there are 3 witnesses you can add. So in log shipping, did you remember log shipping? Log shipping, we have configured monitor server. Why we configured it? To monitor primary database and secondary database for monitor server. Okay. In mirroring, database mirroring, we configured witness. So what is the use of witness? Witness will look after principal and mirror servers. So always on is nothing but extension of mirroring. In always on, we should configure witness as a best practice. So witness, but in here we configure on servers, here we configure on cluster. That is the only difference. What is the use of witness? See, in cluster, for example, you have 3 node cluster. So each node has 1 vote. What is the majority of node cluster? So ఈ క్లస్టర్ సర్వైవ్ అవ్వాలంటే ఒకవేళ ఇది కంప్యూటర్ 1, కంప్యూటర్ 2, కంప్యూటర్ 3 ఈ మూడింటిని కలిపి ఒక యూనిఫైడ్ క్లస్టర్ తయారు చేసాం. ఓకే. ఈ క్లస్టర్ సర్వైవ్ అవ్వాలంటే అట్లీస్ట్ మెజారిటీ ఆఫ్ ఓట్ షుడ్ క్యాస్ట్. సో వాట్ ఈస్ ద మెజారిటీ ఇన్ 3 node cluster? 2 is the majority. Okay. So ఈ క్లస్టర్ కి ఏదైనా ఇన్సిడెంట్ జరిగింది ఈ నోడ్ కి. Okay, this node is not available. Then only 2 nodes are available. Cluster will survive. So ఈ నోడ్ కూడా ఏదైనా ఇన్సిడెంట్ జరిగింది అనుకోండి. There is only 1 vote available. With 1 vote, cluster will not survive. In these situations, to maintain cluster up, to maintain cluster available, this witness will help you because witness also have 1 vote. If you configure witness, it will give you 1 more vote. So majority is 2, witness is giving 1 more vote. Then this with this vote, cluster will survive. Even though 2 nodes are not available, cluster will survive. Did you get my point?
Yes.
Okay. So cluster, how many types of witness you can configure? Disk quorum you can configure. I already configured it. File share witness. If you have any file share, you can configure witness with file share also. And domain, in generally, we should not configure file share in domain. So for demo purpose, I configured it. We have a file share. Copy this. Click on OK. Go here. So now I am configuring file share witness. Configure, click on next. Choose advanced quorum configuration. Click on next. All nodes, yes. So first you should, existing already we have configured one disk quorum. First you should remove that configuration settings. Do not configure any quorum witness. Click on next, next, finish. So now we removed witness. There is no witness here. Okay. So right click on here, go to more actions, configure custom quorum settings. Click on next. Choose advanced quorum information. Click on next. Select all nodes. Click on next. Configure a file share witness. Second option. So disk witness. If you have disk, you can add in the same way. If you don't have disk, if you have file share, you will add in this way. Cloud witness we will see later. Next. File share path. Give it file share path. Yes, I have given. Click on next. Next. Finish. See, now what is the witness? Witness is file share witness. Okay, there are 3 types of witnesses available you can add. If you want disk quorum, disk witness, do the same way. First you remove it. How to remove? More actions. Go to configure custom quorum settings. Next, next, next. Okay, so select quorum witness, advanced quorum configuration. Next, next. Do not configure anything. First you need to click on this. Finish it. Then there is no configuration for witness. Now go more actions, configure custom quorum settings. Next, advanced quorum configuration. Next, all nodes available. Next, configure disk witness. Click on next. So you have one disk available. Click on next. Next. Click on finish. So now disk witness you have configured. This is the way you configure witness. So right now, how many types of witnesses are available? One is disk witness. Second is file share witness. Third is cloud witness. How to configure it, we will see later. So because with this witnesses configured, you will get additional node, additional vote, additional chance of surviving cluster. Okay, so the best practice is you should configure witness. So right now we have configured disk witness. Okay, So from 2012 onwards, ఇక్కడ మనకు డిస్క్ విట్నెస్ లో కానీ ఫైల్ షేర్ విట్నెస్ లో కానీ క్లౌడ్ విట్నెస్ లో కానీ ఇష్యూ ఏంటంటే let's assume there is a 5-node cluster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you configured additionally file share or disk witness or cloud witness. 1 vote available here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. So what is the majority of 5-node cluster?
3, 4.
3 only. So witness is additional. You have given witness. Majority of 5-node cluster is 3. Okay. How can you know that? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So these 2 will be cancelled. These 2 will be cancelled. Okay. These 2 will be cancelled. Only 1 vote is additional. So in odd numbers, always majority is n plus 1 by 2. 5 plus 1, 6. 6 by 2 is equal to 3. Six plus 1 by 2 equal to 3. Okay, so this is 5-node cluster, right? 5 plus 1 by 2 equal to 3. Okay, 6-node cluster అంటే 3.5 వస్తుంది. ఇందాక చూసాము. దానికి ఒక 0.5 యాడ్ చేయాలి ఎందుకంటే half node is not available. So for 5-node cluster majority is 3. For 6-node cluster majority is 4. For 7-node cluster majority is 4. For 8-node cluster majority is 5.
5.
For 9-node cluster majority is 5. Like this will happen. So right now we are discussing 5-node cluster. In 5-node cluster, if you don't have majority, for example, 3 nodes get disaster, only 2 nodes available. ఈ 2 nodes available ఉన్నప్పుడు cluster survive అవ్వదు. అందుకని witness ఒక vote ఇస్తుంది. So right now 3 votes are available with witness, cluster will survive. What if this node also get disaster? So how many votes are there? 1 vote is available in cluster and witness is giving another vote 2. So how many votes should be there at least to survive?
3.
To survive in a 5-node cluster, at least 3 votes should be there. Now we have only 2 votes with including witness. So 2 votes unte cluster will not survive, cluster will break. So you cannot use any application on this cluster. Okay. So even though 1 node is available, you cannot use this cluster. This is 5-node cluster. Let's see 7-node cluster or 9-node cluster, what happens. So even though computers are available, you cannot use those computers because of this node majority. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, let's see for 7. So what is the majority in 7? Majority is 4. So let's assume 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 nodes are not available. 3 is the majority now. So you can configure one witness. With witness vote, cluster will survive. Another 1 more node down. Now what are available nodes? 1, 2, and witness 1 is 3. 3 votes are available. But in 7-node cluster, you need at least 4 votes. So 4 votes leave kabatti cluster break out. Even though you have available 2 computers with you, 2 nodes with you, you cannot use these 2 nodes because of this node majority. Okay? To address this problem, in 2012, Microsoft brought a beautiful option that is dynamic quorum. Dynamic quorum. Okay, what is dynamic quorum? So dynamic quorum by default will be enabled. మీరు enable చేసినా చేయకపోయినా dynamic quorum enable అయి ఉంటుంది automatic గా. Okay, see now. Where you can see votes. See, assigned vote is 1-1, current vote is 1-1. Okay, because you have already configured witness vote is also giving you dynamic quorum also enabled. That is why each one is getting 1 vote. So ఈ డైనమిక్ vote అనేది ఎలా వర్క్ అవుతుందంటే లెట్స్ సీ హియర్. చూడండి 10+1/2 1 2 3 4 అన్నిటికీ మధ్యలో కమ్యూనికేషన్ ఉంది. ఓకే, సో దిస్ ఈస్ అ 4 node క్లస్టర్. వాట్ ఈస్ ద మెజారిటీ? 3. So we'll come to dynamic quorum. All this, if you want, you can go and see. This is dynamic quorum. Here it starts. So 1 2 3 4 nodes are available. What is the majority in 4?
3.
3. ఒక node down అయింది. There are 3 nodes available. Cluster will survive. Second node also get down. Okay, how many votes are there? Only 1 and 2. సో ఈ టైంలో డైనమిక్ కోరం వచ్చేసి తన ఓటు ఇస్తుంది. ఆర్ క్లియర్? సో ఇట్ విల్ బికమ్ హౌ మెనీ votes now? 3 votes. 1 2 3. ఆర్ క్లియర్ సుబ్బు?
Yes, sir.
ఓకే, సో డైనమిక్ కోరం అడ్వాంటేజ్ ఏంటంటే నెక్స్ట్ ఈ నోడ్ కూడా డౌన్ అయింది అనుకోండి. హౌ మెనీ నోడ్స్ ఆర్ అవైలబుల్? ఓన్లీ 1 node.
2.
1 node is available. So with 1 node also, it will cast you 1 vote and it will make it only 2 node cluster. వీటన్నిటిని కన్సిడర్ చేయదు, వీటికి ఓటు తీసేస్తుంది, ఇవి డౌన్ అవుతున్నాయి. ఓకే, ఇట్ విల్ బికమ్ 2 node cluster now. In 2 node cluster, what is the majority? Only 1 is majority. So 1 vote ఉంటే చాలు. It is giving additional vote also. Total it will become 2. It will survive. So with the dynamic quorum, last surviving computer also you can maintain cluster. Are you clear?
Yes.
So dynamic quorum అనేది by default it will be configured. మీరు కాన్ఫిగర్ చేసినా చేయకపోయినా it will be configured dynamic quorum. It will not show here. So dynamic quorum ని పవర్ షెల్ లో ఎనేబుల్ చేయొచ్చు, డిజేబుల్ చేయొచ్చు. By default it is enabled. So with cluster disk, if we have more nodes, you can see the power of quorum. అన్నిటికీ ఓటింగ్ ఇస్తుంది. ఓకే, so if it is even number, you will get all votes. If it is odd number, it will make it 1 vote less. So ఎప్పుడైతే let's see here. Don't get confused. సో డైనమిక్ కోరం ఏం చేస్తుందంటే ఇక్కడ నోడ్ పోయింది అనుకోండి, ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ 4 node cluster ఎనీమోర్, ఇట్ ఈస్ 3 node cluster. సెకండ్ నోడ్ కూడా పోయింది అనుకోండి, ఇట్ ఈస్ ఓన్లీ 2 node cluster. Otherwise 3 node cluster, it will dynamic quorum will vote you. Okay, this vote also gone, it will become 2 node cluster. Dynamic గా cluster position ని చేంజ్ చేస్తుంది. దాని ద్వారా cluster will survive. Okay, this is about to cluster quorum settings. So this is where you can configure witness. So dynamic quorum is already enabled. So but for the best practice, even though dynamic quorum enabled, you can configure witness. So witness, there are 3 ways to configure. One is disk witness, second is file share witness, third is cloud witness. In nowadays, all people are using cloud witness for maintaining last surviving node. Okay, this is about witness. Come here. So we discussed about how to do witness. Quorum models, also node majority, file share witness, node and disk. So how to configure quorum also we discussed. Now let's go to see. We have configured cluster manager. We made cluster. Now we will make availability group. So cluster making will be taken care by Windows admins. As a SQL Server DBA, you never create cluster. Cluster అనేది Windows admins work, మన work కాదు. So for demo purpose, we are creating it. So cluster తయారు చేసి already they will make cluster, then they will hand it over to you. Now our work will start. What is our work? Installation of SQL Server. Okay, SQL Server we have installed, and there are some databases in it. Let me make some databases. Create database, DB100, DB200, DB300, DB400. So we need to create 4. I am creating 4 databases. Let me make it. Where am I? On node 1. It's taking long time. Should not take it. Okay. So let me disconnect this. Connect again. We can connect. So take a new session. Open this. Create a database. Some background process is going on. We will see how to troubleshoot this issue in future. Right now, I don't want to confuse you. Okay, database is created. DB100 created. DB200 done. DB300 done. DB400 done. So what is the first prerequisite of always on availability groups? Database should take at least one full backup. So I'm taking backup. Full backup. Backup database. Database name is DB100. To disk equal to DB100 underscore dot PAK. Copy this. So 2, 3, 4. modify the names of the file names. Okay. So I'm taking backup. Execute this, done. Execute this, done. Execute this one also, done. So full backup also taken. Now what is the next step? Go to always on availability groups, right click, new availability group wizard. Click on next, give a name. I'm giving name of group 3. Okay, fine. On which cluster? Windows Server failover cluster type. If you want without cluster also, you can create availability group, but that is not recommended. Click on next. So what are the databases available for group linking? DB1, DB2, DB3 already part of availability group. So only databases you can create group is these databases. Click on next. So you are selecting all the databases required. Then you will select replicas. So nodes. So how many nodes are there? We have only 2 node cluster. If you have multiple nodes, you can create multiple replicas. So this is primary replica, always on node 1. I need automatic failover for this. So automatic failover, whenever you click on automatic failover, availability mode automatically changes to synchronous commit. Okay. So automatic failover is available on only synchronous commit. Click on here, it will change to synchronous commit. So then click another replica, always on node 2. So I need synchronous commit here also. Readable secondary, yes, I need readable database, secondary database. Click on here, click on yes. So endpoints, this is the address of node 1, this is the address of node 2. Based on this address, 2 computers will communicate. Port number is default port number 5022. Backup preferences are very good selling feature. So ideally preferred secondary is the best feature. So in always on availability groups, you can take backups in secondary database. So in log shipping, it is not available. In database mirroring, it is not available. In always on, you can take backups on secondary database. This is the best selling feature of always on. So preferred secondary is the option, one of the best option. Secondary only, it will take backups on secondary server. If secondary is not available, it cannot take backups. If you choose prefer secondary, even though secondary is not available, it will take backups on primary. Third one is primary database. Fourth one is any replica, but based on this weightage, it will take backup. So you can give weightage to all nodes. All this we have discussed already. Automatic seeding, if database size is less, you can go for automatic seeding. If database size is more, you go for file database, full database, and log database, backup, and restore method. So third method is join only. So all these 4 options, whatever showing here, can be known as initial data synchronization. సో మిర్రరింగ్ లో మనం ఏం చేసాం, ఫస్ట్ డేటాబేస్ ఫుల్ బ్యాకప్ తీసుకొని ఇక్కడ రిస్టోర్ చేసి స్టార్ట్ చేసాం. యాక్చువల్గా లాగ్ బ్యాకప్ కూడా తీసుకోవాలనుకున్నాం. సో అదే కాన్సెప్ట్, ఫుల్ డేటాబేస్ బ్యాకప్, లాగ్ బ్యాకప్ తీసుకొని నెక్స్ట్ సెకండరీ సర్వర్ లో రిస్టోర్ చేస్తుంది. ఇనీషియల్ గా డేటా సింక్రనైజ్ చేస్తుంది. ఇది ఆల్రెడీ మీరు మాన్యువల్ గా చేశారనుకోండి, ఆల్రెడీ మాన్యువల్ గా ఫుల్ బ్యాకప్ తీసుకొని మీరు రిస్టోర్ చేసి ఉంటే యూ కెన్ క్లిక్ ఆన్ జాయిన్ అవుట్. ఫస్ట్ గ్రూప్ తయారు చేయి, తర్వాత ఏం చేయాలో నేను చూస్తా అంటే స్కిప్ ఇనిషియల్ డేటా సింక్రనైజేషన్. రైట్ నౌ ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ విత్ ఆటోమేటిక్ సీడింగ్. Click on next. Listener, we have not configured. We will see what is listener. Click on next. Click on finish. Okay. So now group 3 in always on created. Let's go with group 3. So group 3 is primary here. Open the databases, availability databases. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 databases available in this group. Okay. సో మిర్రరింగ్ లో కానీ లాక్ షిప్పింగ్ లో కానీ ఓకే ఇఫ్ యూ డూ ఫెయిల్ ఓవర్ లెట్స్ సీ దిస్ ఈస్ ప్రైమరీ డేటాబేస్, this is secondary database, otherwise this is primary server and let's assume this is the database in it. Okay, this is primary server, primary database. This is secondary database. So lock shipping లో ఫెయిల్ అంటే ఏం చేస్తాం? ప్రైమరీ డేటాబేస్ డౌన్ అయితే you make secondary database online. So you convert it secondary database as primary database. This is in lock shipping. In mirroring, there is automatic failure available. So if principal database happened to something happened to principal databases, automatically mirror database will become principal database. Are you clear? సో ఇక్కడ లాక్ షిప్పింగ్ లో కానీ మిర్రరింగ్ లో కానీ సింగిల్ డేటాబేస్ ఫెయిల్యూర్ అవుతుంది. ఆల్వేస్ ఆన్ లో కాన్సెప్ట్ ఏంటంటే సో యూ మేక్ మల్టిపుల్ డేటాబేసెస్ యాజ్ ఎ గ్రూప్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ గ్రూప్ 3 హ్యాస్ DB100, DB200, DB300, DB400. There are 4 databases in group 3. If we do failover, at once all the databases available in group 3 will go to secondary replica. This is primary replica. So in case of disaster happened here, so all the databases at once move to secondary replica. Are you clear? In always on, group of databases will fail over, not a single database. So how many databases are there? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 databases are available. On 11 databases, we divided these 11 databases into 3 parts, 3 groups. Group 1 has 3 databases, 1, 2, 3. Group 2 has 3 databases, 4, 5, 6. Group 3 has 4 databases, 1, 2, 3, 4. One database is not participating in always on. సో మీకు ఎప్పుడైనా ఏదైనా ఇష్యూ వచ్చింది, మీరు ఫెయిల్ ఓవర్ చేయాలి. ఓకే, సో ఇఫ్ యూ ఫెయిల్ ఓవర్ గ్రూప్ 1, all 3 databases will go to secondary replica. Are you clear? This is group level protection, not single database level protection. Okay, so how to do failover? Automatic failover, manual failover. Open cluster manager, open roles. So manual failover. Now see group 2. For group 2, which node is owner? Always on node 2. Click on here, move, select node, choose node 1, click on OK. This is manual failover. So our databases were in node 2. Now they came to node 1. Okay, this is one way. In SSMS also you can do failover. How to do failover? Go to secondary server. Node 2 is secondary. Here, click on connect. Node 2 is secondary replica. If you want to see, go to always on availability groups. So group 1 secondary is node 2, group 2 secondary is node 2, group 3 secondary is node 2. Go to secondary and execute a command. Wherever you want to make primary, Go to that secondary replica. Alter availability. Group name, group 3. Okay. Set not required. Alter availability group name, failover. Let's check this. Yeah. Now, if you refresh this availability groups, you can see group 3 is failover to primary. Which one? Node 2. Node 2 became primary for group 3. Okay. For group 2, group 1, primary is node 1 only. For group 3 only, it became node 2 is the primary. సో సెకండ్ కంప్యూటర్ ని ప్రైమరీ చేసాం గ్రూప్ 3 కి. గ్రూప్స్ వైజ్ యూనిట్స్ అన్నమాట ఇక్కడ. ఈ గ్రూప్ కి ఏది ఓనర్, ఈ గ్రూప్ కి ఏది ఓనర్, ఈ గ్రూప్ కి ఏది ఓనర్. సో దిస్ ఈస్ హౌ యూ డూ మాన్యువల్ ఫెయిల్ఓవర్. ఆటోమేటిక్ ఫెయిల్ఓవర్, you already choose that option. So if something happens to node 2, let's see this. Node 2, I'm doing shutdown. Continue. So generally ఏంటి? Refresh this. Node 2 is the owner for group 3. Whenever computer gets corrupted or shut down or done something, it is not available. Automatically, node 2 will come to node 1 for group 3. See, node 1 came. This is automatic failover. Okay. So far we discussed creating availability group, adding replicas, not this. Primary, secondary replicas, synchronous, asynchronous commit, automatic failover, manual failover, readable secondaries. So readable, what is readable secondaries? Backup preferences also we have discussed. Okay. Quorum settings also we have discussed. What is readable secondary? Now let's see this. Go to the portal, start this node 2. So readable secondary అంటే ఏంటంటే గ్రూప్ 1 కి ప్రైమరీ రెప్లికా నోడ్ 1, గ్రూప్ 2 కి ప్రైమరీ రెప్లికా నోడ్ 2, గ్రూప్ 3 కి ప్రైమరీ రెప్లికా నోడ్ 1. అన్ని గ్రూప్స్ కి నోడ్ 1 ప్రైమరీ రెప్లికా. అంటే సెకండరీ రెప్లికా ఏంటి? నోడ్ 2 ఇస్ ద సెకండరీ రెప్లికా. సో ఇప్పటి వరకు లాక్ షిప్పింగ్ లో అయితే in standby mode you can read secondary database. Mirroring, you cannot read secondary database. But in always on, you can use secondary database. You can read the secondary database. Okay, that is readable secondary. So go and connect more than as administrator. I'm opening SSMS right now here on node 2. SQL సర్వీస్ స్టార్ట్ అయిందా లేదా ఎలా చూస్తారో SQL సర్వర్ మేనేజర్ 16 database configuration manager, go to services. It is not started yet, that is why. So it is unable to connect. Let's start it. Now it should connect. It is connected. Go to availability groups. Availability groups. So node 2 is secondary for all groups. Go to any group database. So this is secondary, right? Synchronizing in recovery. Okay, not here. Refresh everything. Synchronized. Let's go to AGDB3. So you are able to open the database. So let's create a table. Create a SQL table with 3 rows. Okay. So I'm creating in primary. I'm going to primary. AGDB1. Take this one. Paste over here. Yeah. Okay. So this is a sample table I'm creating it. Create a table. Done. Employees already, there is employee table in it. So otherwise we will do one thing. We will create this table in DB100. So this is the table. Done. This is 3 rows. So in DB300, I have created a table. Earlier, there were no tables, employees table. Now go to node 2. Here in DB300, you can see the same table immediately without no time delay. So అక్కడ 3 rows add చేసాం కదా. Let's see 3 rows here. 3 rows. Okay, go to node 1. So let me add 3 more rows. Execute this. Now 6 rows it became. Go here. Execute this. It came 6 rows immediately with no time delay. These are synchronized databases. Okay. So now we can read the secondary databases. That is the main point we need to prove here. So we are reading secondary databases. Any database, if you click, if you configure as a readable secondary, you can go to the databases. You can see the tables in secondary. That is the point here. Okay. So readable secondary backup preferences we discussed. Now let's come to here. Okay. Adding replicas, defining availability group listener. Let's come to listener. సో లిజనర్ అంటే ఏంటి, లిజనర్ ఏ విధంగా వర్క్ అవుతుంది అనేది మనం ఇక్కడ అబ్జర్వ్ చేద్దాం. లెట్స్ అజ్యూమ్ ఏ సినారియో. దెర్ ఆర్ 2 node క్లస్టర్ హియర్. 2 node క్లస్టర్ ఉంది ఇక్కడ. ఓకే. సో విచ్ వన్ ఈస్ ప్రైమరీ హియర్? విచ్ వన్ ఈస్ ప్రైమరీ? విచ్ వన్ ఈస్ ప్రైమరీ అంటూనే మీరు ఏమడగాలంటే ఫర్ విచ్ గ్రూప్ అని అడగాలి. గ్రూప్ వైజ్ కదా ఇక్కడ. ఓకే. సో ఫర్ విచ్ గ్రూప్ విచ్ వన్ ఈస్ ప్రైమరీ? ఫర్ గ్రూప్ 3 విచ్ వన్ ఈస్ ప్రైమరీ? Subbu?
Always node 1.
Node 1 is the primary. Okay, let's do one thing. For group 3, which one is primary?
1 only. Always node 1.
Always one, node 1. So మీరు ఆ క్వశ్చన్ అడిగినారు, మీకు మీరు క్లయింట్ అడిగితే క్లయింట్ నోడ్ 1 అని చెప్పారు మీరు. అది ప్రైమరీ అయిపోయింది. ప్రైమరీ గాని కనెక్ట్ అయ్యారు. కానీ మీరు చెప్పిన వెంటనే అది ఫెయిల్ ఓవర్ అయిపోయి సెకండరీకి వచ్చేసింది.
ఓకే.
ఇప్పుడు విచ్ వన్ ఈజ్ ప్రైమరీ?
ఆల్వేస్ నోడ్ 2.
నోడ్ 2 ఇస్ ద ప్రైమరీ. సో ఇప్పుడు నువ్వు మళ్ళీ క్లయింట్ దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళి కాదు నోడ్ 1 ప్రైమరీ కాదు, నోడ్ 2 ప్రైమరీ అని చెప్పాలి.
ఓకే.
సో ఇఫ్ దెర్ ఆర్ మల్టిపుల్ గ్రూప్స్, if there are multiple secondaries, it is very confusing for client to connect primary database, which one is primary, which one is secondary replica. To avoid this confusion, you can configure listener. Okay, మనం listener create చేస్తాం. Listener role ఏంటంటే whichever is primary, it will connect to that primary replica. క్షణానికి మారిపోయింది. ప్రైమరీ ఏదైతే దానికి కనెక్ట్ అయిపోతుంది. అది క్లియర్?
yes.
ఓకే. సో అప్పుడు మీకు క్లయింట్ కి మీరు ఏం చేస్తారు? గ్రూప్ 1, గ్రూప్ 2, గ్రూప్ 3 ఈ డేటాబేస్, ఈ సర్వర్ అలా ఇవ్వరు. క్లయింట్ కి ఒక లిజనర్ నేమ్ ఇస్తారు. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఏఓ ఏజీ లిజనర్ 1 అని ఇచ్చారనుకో. సో దీని పేరు ఆల్వేస్ ఆన్ నోడ్ 1 అయి ఉండొచ్చు, నోడ్ 2 అయి ఉండొచ్చు, నీకు అనవసరం. ఏది ప్రైమరీ ఉంటే దానికి కనెక్ట్ అవుతుంది బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్. దట్ ఈస్ ద యూజ్ ఆఫ్ లిజనర్. ఓకే. సో లిజనర్ కనెక్ట్ అవ్వాలంటే దెర్ ఆర్ సమ్ రూల్స్. లిజనర్ ఎలా వర్క్ అవుతుందో చూడండి. లెట్స్ సీ దిస్. దీన్ని లోడ్ బ్యాలెన్సింగ్ కి కూడా వాడుకోవచ్చు. లోడ్ బ్యాలెన్సింగ్ అంటే ఏంటో చూద్దాం తర్వాత. లెట్స్ సీ. user is connecting through firewall to load balancer. Now whichever node, there are 3 nodes available. Let's see like this. I'll make it more easy for you. There are 3 computers here. So your client, you need to connect to this computer. Okay. So this is node 1. I mean primary replica. So you cannot directly go to the primary replica. First you go through listener. Listener connect అవుతావు. అంటే listener through this is load balancer. Okay. This is front end. You use listener name. Listener name will go to contact load balancer. Listener name will contact load balancer. Load balancer will decide which one is primary replica. For example, primary replica ikkada undi anukondi. Load balancer will decide primary replica and tells you listener, hey listener, you connect to this one. Next failover అయింది అనుకోండి. This one is primary replica అనుకోండి. Next automatic గా మీ listener primary replica connect అవుతుంది. So client will always connect to primary replica. ఎందుకు? డేటాబేస్ చేంజెస్ లో అన్ని ప్రైమరీ రెప్లికాలోనే చేస్తారు. సెకండరీస్ లో డేటాబేస్ చేంజెస్ చేయరు. ఇట్ ఈస్ రీడబుల్ డేటాబేస్ ఓన్లీ. ఆర్ యు క్లియర్?
Okay, yes.
Okay. So you will create a listener. Listener will decide with the help of load balancer which one is primary replica. ఇది ప్రైమరీ రెప్లికా కాదు ఇది అనుకోండి. నెక్స్ట్ ఆటోమేటిక్ గా కనెక్షన్ ఇక్కడికి చేంజ్ అయిపోతుంది. So this one is not primary replica. It will become here. It will change this connection to here. This is how listener works. So listener create చేయాలంటే first load balancer create చేయాలి. Okay. Take 5 minutes break. We will start how to create load balancer.
Okay.